am Jimmy. I am who I will be. You are who you will be. Who you imagine yourself to be, and you decide that that's who you are, and you begin to take action on that idea of yourself, you will begin to see movement and progress in your life. As things move forward and progress, you can observe and adjust. If you were on a journey across the country and you had GPS, you could be traveling and observing if you're moving in the right direction. And if you notice that you're not moving towards your destination, you could adjust your path, your route. Now within your journey, you also have the option of traveling, how you travel. You could walk, you could run, you could ride a bike, you could be in a car, you could be in a bus, you could fly. How you get somewhere has to do with the circumstances you're in. Circumstances are ever changing, so how you start a journey isn't necessarily how the journey's gonna go, it's just how it's starting. So on your fitness journey, first you have to imagine yourself being a certain type of person. How do you look? How do you move? How do you feel? So once you clarify the vision of yourself, then you can begin to break that down into actions, activities, lifestyle, whatever, how the journey's gonna go. You begin to create understanding around how to go from where you are to where you will be. And this is a different journey for everybody because everybody's mindset is different, everybody's body and genetics are different, everybody's circumstances are different. And so you can borrow information, you can borrow the map from somebody else's life, but ultimately you have to decide this is who I am, and you have to begin figuring out how you can arrive there because it's your journey. And if you decide to be that person, and if you continue to take actions on being that person, you will arrive there. Now, a recent testimony from my own life. So I've been in the fitness space since 2010, I would say. No, 2014. I became a professional fitness trainer at a gym called Lifetime Fitness. I worked there for 8 years until COVID. I was furloughed, and then I took my stuff online for a while, and then life has gone in another direction. But what I find is I'm super passionate about fitness and helping people, and also just achieving life in my own life. Anyway, so recent testimony for me is I've been on this journey of wanting to know how to have the greatest experience of nutrition and fitness, like feeling absolutely free. So wanting to feel like I can eat whatever I want and still be fit. Like thinking I can achieve fitness through mentality alone. It's been quite the journey, some ups and downs. So I would say about a month ago, I started thinking about being immortal. Hold on. So I was like, okay, if my body did not age, if my body was to live and live and live and live, what is my day-to-day like? What is it like to live immortally, eternally, rather than thinking I'm gonna die? What is that mindset? What is that state of being? And the word lifing came up to me, and it was, I would be lifing. I would be living moment to moment, achieving, but not in a hurry, because there is no hurry, because life continues. And so there is a wisdom, there is a speed of not being in a hurry, but also not being stuck. And I was like, okay, so I would have this continual living about myself. I would not remain stuck, but I would also not be in a hurry. And so I was like, okay, I would be in a continual state of living. And the more I thought about this, I was like, what's sustainable? What does this look like? And I came up with I would be doing something every day. not an extreme measure, but every day. And I came to this, I would be being mobile, I would move a lot, and I would have energy. I would be using energy. Anyway, so I was kind of thinking this over for a couple weeks, and about 2 weeks ago, the sugar fasting, sugar diet came into my awareness. It didn't exist in my awareness until this point. It doesn't mean it didn't exist, but it didn't come to me until I was thinking about being this version of myself. My awareness picked it up when I was thinking in line with it, right? So whatever you're thinking in line with, you will observe. And so sugar fasting and sugar diet came into my awareness. What is that? Well, it's this idea of eating in a high energy state during the day and then having more of your nutrient building in the evening on a sugar diet day, which means I'm eating fruit and simple sugars all day, and then in the evening I'm having a protein, starch, dense meal in the evening. Then on sugar fasting days, I don't eat the protein or the starch in the evening. I stay in a high sugar or high energy state. This connected with this idea of myself, and I was like, ooh, I like that. And so I began doing the sugar diet, which again is sugar all day, nutrients at night, protein at night, starch at night. And what I noticed right away was super satisfying. And then in the evening, I was not drawn to overconsume. Like I was super satiated. I lost a couple pounds, but it wasn't, I wasn't like way out of shape. So a few pounds came off, but it wasn't fast. But I wasn't gaining weight, and I was literally eating as much sugar as I could during the day. Come to 2 days ago, I was like, I really need to try the sugar fast to see what this does. And so I did the sugar fast for one day. I'm eating somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 calories. I don't know because I'm not tracking. I'm literally trying to eat sugar as often as I can. And it's crazy how difficult it is to actually eat that much simple carbohydrate. So the next morning after day one, I'm down from 210 to 207.6. It's like, wow, that's crazy. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again. So I did it a consecutive day, and that brings me to this morning where I was 205.2 or 0.4, down more than another 2 pounds. So this is information on my journey. So now I'm seeing myself, I'm imagining my future self, and I'm seeing how this diet, how sugar fasting, sugar diet can be used in conjunction with who I see myself to be. There's still things to learn, to utilize, but yeah, this is the process. So this way of eating might not be for you, but the process is, it's know your outcome, begin taking action, observe your result, ask yourself if it's working, and adjust accordingly and continue going. If you've decided to be this version of you, then it's only a matter of time and a matter of finding the right actions for your life. So have a goal, write down 10 to 20 ways you can take action, and begin taking action. Really having that clarity of who you are. This is my future self. And then having the faith that you can become that. Once you accept that it's possible for you, I promise you, God goes to action behind the scenes and will create your circumstances for you to give you that result. But it's not until you decide that that's who you are. You truly have to decide that's who you are, to the point where you're taking action and you're willing to adjust. Once you get to that point, it's only a matter of time. All right, guys. Remember, you are who you will be. I'll see you next time.